So a couple of weeks ago, I made a video that basically said that Elon Musk could be out of a job in terms of his lead role in DOGE after the failure that was the Wisconsin Supreme Court election, which was heavily influenced by Elon, but not in the way that he wanted it to be. Essentially, he was hoping that the candidate that he was backing, the Republican candidate, was going to win in a landslide by his involvement in it and him really getting in the face of Wisconsin voters. But it turned out to have the opposite effect because Elon Musk is not a likable person. And because of that, it's been very clear from a public eye sort of view that Elon Musk is not as prominent as he once was within the Republican Party and, just the Donald Trump administration, mostly because of the fact that Elon Musk really showed that he's just not a likable person. His favorability fell big time, and now it seems like the speculation is coming true that he will be leaving. Now, this doesn't just come from me, this also came from, a lot of news stations like CNN, stuff like that. Hassan Piker also speculated on this, as well as other political content creators, because, obviously Donald Trump is someone who doesn't like losers. That's a big thing about him. He doesn't like losers, even though his VP is J.D. Vance. But, J.D. Vance won his election for, I believe it was a Ohio senator. So, he's a winner in some right. But Elon Musk, with how unlikable he is, and honestly, I think it comes down to the fact that they just, I'm not sure if Musk hates Trump, but I think Trump hates Musk. I think Musk wants Trump to like him, but I think Trump just does not like him at all. And I think you can definitely tell it when they're near one another. You can just tell that Trump does not have any sort of patience with Musk, and Musk just is pleading for him to like him. But this comes from a CNN article that says Elon Musk is going back to Tesla, but is the damage already done? Now this comes out of I guess it was a investors meeting, something like that. I knew there was a whole thing where he announced this. I think it was an earnings call. Elon Musk says he's going back to Tesla. The question now is whether or not it's too late to reverse the damage that has been done. Musk told investors on Tuesday night he would step back from his role running the Department of Government Efficacy next month, spending only 1 or 2 days a week there. He said he would spend the freed up time running Tesla. But even if Musk devotes more time to the now troubled company, it's clear that his high-profile support of President Donald Trump and controversial role at DOGE has already cost Tesla. There have been protests outside showrooms and vandalism at its facilities. Earlier this month, the automaker reported the biggest drop in sales in its history during the first quarter as buyers fled the brand. But that damage could be long-lasting, even according to some of his fans. Some Tesla bulls are predicting his pullback from DOGE will be enough to help the company avoid further problems. Shares of Tesla were up more than 3% in early trading Wednesday, even after the electric automaker reported a 71% plunge in net income due to tumbling sales around the globe. Yeah, people haven't been buying his shit because they just don't like him. He has made himself such a big controversial name that people just don't want to buy his shit anymore. And the only people who would probably buy his shit now are his dweeby little fanboys on Twitter, because it's not like conservatives were going to buy his EVs anyways, unless they were tech bros. But again, that's the same category as his little fan base. And now that he has made himself as a big face of the right wing, liberals are going to hesitate to even buy his shit to begin with. So, I don't understand why he thought this was a good look for him. Why he thought this was a good idea. I think it was just power, but he also underestimated how much people just don't like him. I guess he just thought it was a Twitter only thing, just an online left wing sort of thing. But at the same time, going back to the Wisconsin election, as I pointed out in my other video, when that was taking place, there were definitely people on the right who were dissuaded from voting just because of Elon Musk's involvement in it. And there were probably left-wing people who are more inclined to vote because of Musk's, appearance during the election. But I think it just goes to show, this is how divisive you are, that even people on the right do not fuck with you. Even people, some people on the right just don't fuck with you. The normie, normal people, if they were to actually sit down and listen to Musk with some of the cringy shit that he has had to say, especially when it comes to his role in the government with DOGE, they wouldn't like what he's doing. They fucking cut funding to cancer research and shit like that. It's very obvious they have no idea what they're doing. Now, reportedly, he was only supposed to be there for a certain amount of time anyways, because he is like a special employee, shit like that. But more than likely, that was not going to hold up if, you know, this scenario didn't happen. Like, if his favorability within the Republican Party didn't drop immensely, or just in general, he probably wouldn't have to, you know, be shoved out of the door. They probably would have found some other way for him to do it. I mean, they even say here that he still is reportedly going to spend some time working with DOGE, which I honestly don't see happening. I feel like they're just going to say he's involved, but they're just going to get like some shadow head to lead it in his absence anyways. But it seems like, I don't know, this isn't like great news. Like, Elon Musk being a big focal point of the Republican Party is good when it comes to, you know, being against the right-wing party, because he's just such an obvious target to go for, because he's just so bad. He's so bad. Even so, he's just so bad to the point where he's causing turmoil in the Republican Party. And I'm not just talking about voters. This also came 3 days ago, where there was reportedly a shouting match in the White House. I believe it was the White House. It might have been the White House, might have been Mar-a-Lago. I believe this case was the White House. But we have this little clip here from CNN.
Conflict has been brewing
that's loud.
For quite some time between Scott Bessent and Elon Musk. Musk didn't want Bessent for any Treasury Secretary during the transition. Obviously, Bessent prevailed. As DOGE under Musk started to kick into high gear, they had a few conflicts over staffing at Treasury. And then most recently, Scott Bessent wanted his pick to be the IRS commissioner. Elon Musk had his pick installed. Bessent then raised the issue with President Trump and said Musk is back. And this all sort of boiled over on Thursday when Bessent confronted Musk about it, and a shouting match and the F-bomb ensued. They were apparently face-to-face, chest-to-chest. There was some yelling going on.
It's an honor to have the Prime Minister of Italy with us.
At the time, Giorgia Meloni, the Prime Minister from Italy, was meeting with Trump in the Oval Office. From what we're told, the arguing and the yelling could be heard or was within earshot of the Prime Minister when she was meeting with Trump, while Bessent was telling Musk, F you. Musk was then taunting him, saying, say it louder, as in, let them hear it as you're cool.
Look, there are disagreements amongst the president's staff and cabinet sometimes, but we think that's part of the healthy debate process, and everybody knows that ultimately President Trump is the decision maker.
I mean, Elon Musk's, pick probably wouldn't have been put in that position if Trump didn't want him to. But at the same time, like, this is what happens when you bring someone whose whole purpose is to be like, yeah, I'm going to ruin everything. I'm going to ruin the government. Like, obviously this is going to happen. And not just the party, but like the administration that you are running. And we have this article from Huffington Post. White House praises healthy debate after reports of Elon Musk Scott Bessent screaming match. The White House praised the healthy debate after multiple outlets reported a shouty match between tech billionaire Elon Musk and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent last week. There are disagreements among the president's staff and cabinet sometimes, but we think that's part of the healthy debate process, White House Press Secretary Karen Leavitt said on Wednesday to reporters. By the way, all topic, she's just a fucking terrible human being. And everybody knows that ultimately President Trump is the decision maker. Trump named the acting director of the IRS as Gary Shapley. Musk picked for the role. Shapley is a former IRS supervisor who is known as a whistleblower in the Hunter Biden tax investigation in 2023. Musk and Bessent argued over who they wanted in the IRS role. Trump ousted Shapley. The role now belongs to Bessent's the girlies are fighting. Trump was like, fuck that. No, he's gonna get his pick. I don't remember exactly when this argument took place. It said on Wednesday, and this came out 3 days ago. So it would have been the 23rd. So the guy would have already been replaced. The New York Times reported that there was a power struggle between Bessent and Musk ahead of Trump. Oh, okay, so it was the head of the replacement. So probably this is what caused the replacement. Like, he's just getting tired of Musk, and he's just like, you know what? You're not getting your pick. He's gonna get his guy. Musk went over Bessett's head to get Shapley in the role, even though Bessent oversees the IRS in his capacity as Treasury Secretary, a source told the Times. Then on Wednesday, Axios cited multiple witnesses that the alleged power struggle was actually a screaming match, during which one said the F-bomb started to fly. It was two billionaire middle-aged men thinking it was the WWE in the Hall of the West Wing. They were not physical in the Oval, but president saw it, and then they carried it down the hall, and that's when they did it again. It was quite a scene. It was loud. I mean loud. The New York Post also reported on the argument, with one source close to the White House telling the outlet Elon was shouting and rambling, and Scott just wasn't putting up with it. Okay. So yeah, like even with shit like this, where he's deliberately going out of his way to like fuck with the administration, even though it's just really him just doing whatever he wants, and because he knows that Trump just wants his money desperately, he'll just do whatever he wants. But I think he undervalues how much Trump just also likes being liked. So even though he might not cut off Musk directly, he will do everything that he can to push Musk to the wayside in order to not affect his likability and the administration's likability as a whole. So we'll probably not see him in a prominent role in terms of politics for the time being, just because of how unpopular he is. And I feel like we have seen that over the coming weeks, as we are seeing more of a focus towards Trump's administration as a whole, because Elon Musk was taking a lot of screen time because he was just going out there and doing stupid shit that you almost didn't even notice what they were doing in the background, just because like people were so hyper focused on how insanely bad he was. So we're getting back to more of a focus solely on Trump and his administration, and I feel like we definitely have seen a lot of that when it comes to the man who was wrongfully sent to El Salvador. And I think it's a good thing that we're seeing more focus on them, even though terrible shit continues to fucking happen, such as in that case. But I think this is where we're just gonna leave it here. At least we get a small victory of hopefully not seeing Elon Musk as prominent as he is. Hello everyone, thank you for watching today's video. If you would like to see more videos like this, please leave a like and subscribe down below. If you would like to check out my gaming videos, you can follow me at FruitySaur Gaming. And if you'd like to check out my podcast where I talk about anime, comics, movies, video games, and even pro wrestling, you can follow me at the Fruit Basket. But that's all I had to say for today. I'd like to thank you all for watching once again, and I will see you next time.